What's up, guys? Excuse me. I am losing my voice. So if I sound a little bit like a man, it's because we had a Christmas party last night for some of the women that have been working with me throughout this year. And I thought, man, how fun would it be just to give ourselves the gift of time, just have some dinner, no family, no pressure, have a little fun, do some bowling, things like that. And I am very competitive. I love cheering people on. And so I'm like, woo, woo, the whole freaking night. And I just get really jacked up. So I wanted to do a podcast on my takeaways from last night. As much as I enjoyed myself, I want to walk you guys through kind of what it looks like inside my brain and the conversations that I have to have with myself in order to not revert back to my old habits or my old ways. So when I first set up this thing, I played back and forth on, should we do dinner? Should we do an activity? Should we just have another meetup? And so at my last meetup, I said, what do you guys want to do kind of thing? And we all decided, dinner and an activity. And so I tried not to put a whole lot of pressure on myself to organize something. I'm like, keep it simple, Sasha. Keep it simple, Sasha. Just keep it simple. I kept thinking let's do this a big elaborate thing. These women deserve the best. I want to give them all the things. And I'm like, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to plan this thing. And I was, I kept saying, you're defeating the purpose. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be easy. Let it be easy. And so finally I just called a couple places. I went with the place that would give us a reservation because it is a pet peeve of mine that a lot of these restaurants nowadays don't take reservations. They're like, we have call ahead seating. I'm like, how do you call ahead seating for 12 people? We'll be waiting for 2 hours. That is, to me, that is just a pet peeve. It's unacceptable. I just wish that people would accept more reservations. So I went with a restaurant that accepted reservations so that we didn't have to wait for food. We could just go and be seated. So that was one of the first things. I got that taken care of. And then there was bowling that was pretty close to that. So I was like, yep, that's it. The dinner and bowling. Let's let this be easy. And then in my brain, I'm like, and you guys can judge this or not. I don't really care. Now I don't really care, I should say. But I'm like, should I pay for everything for everybody? That's what a boss would do. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not these guys' boss. Well, that's what a close friend or relative would do. They would buy everybody's stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm putting more pressure on myself to buy everything for everybody. I'm like, well, should I just pay for it all and then charge everybody and then they can pay me back? Or, how should I do this? How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? And so finally I was like, you know what? Make it easy. Let's just make it easy. Why am I overcomplicating these things? And so I said, everybody has to pay for themselves. And so then I had to work through the guilt on that because I'm like, oh God, Sasha, you're an asshole. You invite everybody to this Christmas party and then you make them pay for their own stuff. How rude of you. And so these are the conversations that are going on in my head. And I'm like, nope, don't give into the peer pressure. Society tells you that you have to pay for everything because you're the host. And so I kept telling myself, it is okay that people bring their own, that they pay for their own selves, that they are responsible for their own meal, for their own bowling. It is fine. It is not a big deal. Let's make it simple. Just because most Christmas hosts or Christmas parties or society in general says the host has to provide everything or pay for everything doesn't mean it has to be that way. And so I kept telling myself, think outside the box. You don't have to keep putting yourself in this box. You don't have to keep putting this pressure on yourself. So I said, all right, I'm doing it. Everybody's paying for their own stuff. And I said it, and it was an immediate weight off my shoulders. But then I was the fear of judgment. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to think I'm broke? Are they going to think that I don't have money to pay for this thing? Gosh, how big of an asshole. They already pay to work with me and I can't even buy them food. And so my brain started to spiral down this other thing. And it's don't And so I had to talk myself out of it. Like, don't worry about what everybody else is thinking. Worry about what works for you and what feels good for you. You have the choice to pay for this stuff. You're choosing not to pay for it because you don't want to put unnecessary pressure on yourself. When you put unnecessary pressure on yourself, you are not showing up as your best self, as the best leader that you possibly could be, as the best mom, wife, coach, whatever label you want to put on it. I'm not being my best Sasha when I have that much pressure on me. And my go-to is to like explode. Like, I go to anger, I yell, and I am a huge raging bitch when I have too much pressure on me. And you know who gets the brunt of it? My husband, my daughter, and my dogs. I'm just going to be honest. When I get to that point, I yell and I scream, and not the people that I'm feeling pressure by. I don't yell and scream at them. I yell and scream at those that are behind closed doors with me, that see me at my worst and my best. The people who I love the most are the ones who get the worst of me, even when it wasn't their fault. And so I said, absolutely not. I am not putting this pressure on me because my husband and my daughter and myself and my animals deserve better than that. Like, I want to show up as my best self. And how I do that is by releasing the pressure and not putting these expectations on my shoulders that I know will pressure me. And so that's just leading up to the event, guys. That's not even like at the event. These are all the thoughts that go through my head. And so then the night comes, and I go through like the whole like, what do I wear? Do I wear like my badass shirt? Do I dress nice? Do I like do my hair and makeup? Like, what do I do? And so I just convinced myself that, I went and got a few new shirts for winter last weekend. And so I said, I'm just going to wear the shirt. I'm not even going to look at what I look like, because I'm one of those people that if I feel like I don't look good, I will not go. And I will change my outfit 12 times and then finally like throw my hands in the air and be like, that's it. I'm not going. I have nothing to wear. And I have, 20 million different types of outfits that I could wear. But I get so in my head on looking perfect that I end up just spiraling and not going. And so I said, nope, I'm going to wear this shirt. I don't even know what it looks like on me. I'm not even going to look in the mirror. I'm just going to wear a pair of jeans that I know I feel good in. I'm going to wear a pair of shoes that I know I feel good in. I'm going to wear this shirt because I know that it looks good. Like, I know that it looks good, whether it's on me or not. Like, I thought this shirt was like super cute, and it was like a really thick sweater, you guys, which is so funny. I'll tell you here in a minute. And I was like, nope, do your makeup. And then I'm not big on hair. And so in my head, I'm like, ooh, let's have curls and like make this hair look amazing because you want to impress people, right? And I'm like, no, I'm going to be Sasha. I'm going to half-ass blow dry my hair because that's what I do. I wouldn't even blow dry my hair, you guys, if it was warm out. Like, I don't. Like, I just like throw some, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even throw anything in it. Sometimes I put a little like, what is it called? Mousse, maybe? Is that a thing still? I don't know. Maybe I'm like from the 80s to like give it, like I have kind of naturally curly hair, so I like give it a little bit of oomph. But I half-ass blow dried my hair because I want it to just be mostly dry so it doesn't freeze. But otherwise I'm like, meh. My straightener's like 10 years old. I had to throw my curling iron out a couple weekends ago because apparently it was, a couple decades old and no longer worked. So, that part of being a girl I suck at. Makeup I'm pretty good at. I mean, I'm okay at. So I put on makeup and I half-ass blow dried my hair and out the door I went. And I was very proud of myself. I was actually on time. I think I got there at like 5:58 and I said, be there at 6 o'clock. If you guys know me, I chronically run late. Like, I'm always busy and I'm always making myself late. And so my goal for this year, for one of the goals for 2018 was to be on time, start being on time. And then one of my goals next year is to be 5 minutes early everywhere I go. So, baby steps. I don't want to set myself up for failure. So my goal this year was to be on time most of the time. And I must say that I have kicked ass at that goal. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm still late to a lot of things. But I show up every day with my best intention. I try my damnedest to be on time. I no longer drive like 85 freaking miles an hour everywhere I go. I actually only drive like 5 over the speed limit. Let's be honest. Like, in a 55, I'm that person driving 60. Like, that's just how I go. Rules are meant to be broken, right? Speed limits are just suggestions anyways. So I'm on time and I'm like, sweet. All right, guys. I hug everybody. There was a few new faces there, so I was very excited to meet them. I'm always like curious on how they're going to perceive me. Like, am I what they expected? Am I not what they expected? And so I've just kind of come to terms that like, I am who I am and I can't control what people think of me. Just show up as my real self and in hopes that they do the same thing. And so we go and we sit down, and then I find it funny because my brain's like, you should just order a salad, Sasha, and show people that they need to eat well. And I eat salads and I eat really well all the time. And I'm like, no, I'm going to try something new tonight. I'm not going to like go over the top. I only ate about half my meal, but I'm not going to limit myself to just a salad to impress anybody. I'm like, the whole purpose of this meetup is so that we can be ourselves and express ourselves. So I had like this Cajun chicken linguine, and it was freaking awesome. I ate about half of it. And you guys, I have a massive sweet tooth. And a lot of times, like if I don't curb my sweet tooth then with like, and I usually limit myself, right? Like I'm not like sweet tooth galore. I'm just shoving my face full of chocolate every day. But I do have sweets every day. I just have sweets in moderation. I no longer eat, a whole package of Oreos. I just have, a sleeve. Just kidding. I only have like 2 or 3. So I limit myself. And so last night I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have freaking chocolate. I don't even care. And it was so funny because I asked for a dessert menu, right? I'm like, you know what? I want to see a dessert menu. Like if there's anything that looks appealing to me, I'm going to get it. Like I've already made up my mind. Like I'm going to get a sweet. This is my sweet for the day. And that's okay. I limited my food throughout the day so that I could kind of make up for it at dinner time. And as soon as like I passed it all around, I'm like, is anybody else going to get dessert? And there was a few girls that were like, well, I'm only going to get dessert if somebody else gets dessert. And I just busted up laughing because in my brain, I'm like, this is the sole reason that we're here is because we feel like we have to follow the crowd. And I'm like, if you want fucking dessert, get dessert. Like who gives a shit what the other person thinks? Like you're here, you're a human. If you want freaking chocolate, eat freaking chocolate, right? And so then I get dessert and a handful of others get dessert. And I thought it was so cool that they ended up doing it. Obviously, like everybody went with what they wanted to, and then those who didn't want dessert didn't get dessert. So I applaud them, but I just found it funny that the trend even occurred in the group where I'm trying to bust these trends. So I'm like, ooh, you guys are busted. You waited for somebody else to say it before you did it. So I'm like, don't follow the crowd. Don't, like, if you want fucking dessert, eat fucking dessert. But in moderation. That's all I gotta say. In moderation. So then we head over to the bowling alley, and I had one of the other girls showed up late, which is another story because there's some people who think like all or nothing. Like, and I used to be this person. Like if I couldn't show up and be at the whole event, I wouldn't even come. I'm like, no, what's the point? If I can't be there to enjoy the whole thing, I'm not going. Like, screw that, waste of time. I'm not gonna go. And so this woman that I work with is just like me in this. And it's like, well, if I can't do it all, then I'm not going to come. And so that's changed my mindset a lot in the last few years because I'm like, you know what? Something's better than nothing. And if I can only attend half of it, like I'll be damned if I'm going to miss any of it just because my ego is getting in the way. And so I had, a chat with her and I'm like, well, I really, really want you to be there. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like we can still have fun. You can just meet us, maybe meet up after dinner or for the bowling or whatever, because I'd love to see you. And I know you'd have fun. And it's always great when we get together. And this is busting one of your old stories that it has to be all or nothing. So not only are you challenging your old story and rewriting a new one, but you get to enjoy yourself on top of it. So she ended up going in and was like reserving lanes for us. And so then we get in there. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, guys. I just get really excited. And so we get in there and the guy, first of all, apparently they don't take debit cards, and they have this little rinky-dink sign, and he like shoves it in my face, and I'm like, okay, sir, like if you don't accept cards, maybe like a yellow piece of paper, an orange piece of paper, something that stands out other than freaking a white 8x11 that has like normal font on it. Like, are you kidding me? Or have like a big sign that says we don't accept debit cards and credit cards. And so like he points at the ATM And I don't know, maybe he was just trying to be a smart ass with me. I'm not really sure, but I felt like my like anger coming up, and I was like, you, sir, are lucky that I'm not drunk right now, because I would like tear into you. And so I did, and I like kept my cool, and I'm like, whatever, Sasha, like maybe he's just got a smart ass personality, just like let it go. And I ended up having a little bit of cash, and then he called me, like he was like, oh, you're gonna be a cheapskate or a cheap ass, or what did he say? I don't remember what he said, or maybe I'm making that part up, but he was like, oh, so you're not going to pay for everybody's bowling? Like, what kind of host are you? Or what kind of, what did he say to me? I don't remember. And so I was like, oh, here it goes. And so I was like, nope, these women can pay for their own stuff. It's fine. And immediately all of the old stories come up, and I'm like, wow, Sasha, you are an asshole. Then I'm like, wait a minute. No, I'm not their boss. I'm not their mom. Like, I'm not obligated to pay for everything. This was an invitation they accepted. They wanted to come. They're responsible adults. And so I'm like I'm starting to spiral in my head, like right there, like there's like a 10 of us women, and I'm like in my head, like, Sasha, don't let this get to you. Don't let this get to you. Don't let one guy with one comment get to you. But it immediately triggered me that I was like, nope, that's it. I have to pay for everybody. Like, I have to throw all of everything that I said, all of the plans. I have to pay for everybody. I have to pay for everybody. And I'm like, ugh. So I'm having this inner battle, and I don't know if anybody noticed it or not, but I'm like freaking out. I'm like, no, don't pay for everybody. Oh, but you're such an asshole. And then finally I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Everybody can pay for themselves. It's fine. This guy doesn't know me from Timbuktu. He doesn't understand what this is about. He probably thinks I'm their boss, and we worked at some job, and that's not what this is. Like, this isn't a company party, you know. And so I just said, you know, that's his experience. That's his projection of what this should be. You know, that's society telling me that I have to stay in old ways, that I have to be inside this box. And I'm like, you are here to bust this box. Just like all of the women that I work with, they, you know, we all, or just women in general, tend to take on responsibility, obligations, expectations that are inside this box that we put ourselves in, and we agree to things that don't feel good to us. And one of the purposes of this group, this podcast, this program, me sharing all of these things, is to debunk all of those myths that we have to do things this way because it's tradition, because that's the way we've always done things. And so I, right then and there, you know, my brain goes a million miles an hour. So I had come to this conclusion very quickly, but I was like, fuck this guy. He doesn't know me. I am standing firm in my decision, and everybody's just going to pay for their own stuff, and it's going to be the end of it. And you know, he has no idea what I'm saying in my head, and I'm probably projecting a lot of things onto him, but this is the inner struggle all the time, right? Like when you go to a cashier checkout and they're like, oh, do you want to add this? And you're like, oh, do I not? And you know, a lot of times you cave. Or like the things on the end of the end caps, you know, like the impulse buys. A lot of times we cave because we feel pressured. And I was like, I am not caving this time. Like, I am standing my foot down, and I am not caving this time, because the old Sasha would have caved, and I would have paid for everything. Had the waiter said, is this on one ticket? I would have said, yes, I'll just pay for everything, regardless if I had the money or not. I would have put it on a credit card. I would have like split it up on 3 different cards. I would have found a way to pay for it just so I looked like I had more money. Like, because that's what I thought. Like, if I pay for everybody's food, they're going to think I'm rich. It doesn't matter how I felt or what's true, how much money I have or not. I would have made it appear to other people that I had more than enough money. Like, look at me, I have more than enough money. And I would have done the same damn thing for bowling just to impress somebody. But me now, that doesn't feel right. I don't like that pressure. So I said no. And I stood in that no for the whole night. And I was pretty proud of myself, because I used to cave at, like, anybody suggested anything to me, I was like, oh yes, give me all the things. I can't afford this, but I'll say yes because you have it and I want to fit in. And that's what people do. And they spend money because I want to look fancy and I want to look rich and I want to, you know, all these things. And it was just stupid. I was too worried about what other people thought and not about how I felt or what I thought. And so then we get into bowling, and I couldn't figure out the stupid freaking computer. So I'm like, God, you know, I probably look like a big dumbass because I teach a lot of things. Like I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but like I like to say that I'm like well-rounded. I know a lot, a little bit about a lot of things. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in any one area, but I've had a lot of experiences. I've had a lot of education. I've had a lot of, I don't know, just knowledge. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly growing, and I just love sharing that with people. And I'm pretty computer savvy, but I could not figure out this damn bowling computer to save my life. So we had to keep going up to that guy, and I'm like, please God, don't say anything to me, guy. Like, just stop talking to me. And so finally get bowling going, and we're bowling, and as we're bowling, I'm like, I start to feel the pressure on me again because I'm pretty competitive, and I'm like, oh, Sasha, you better win. Everybody's going to think you're a loser if you don't win. Like, you're here, you brought this together, like, you're the, quote, leader, you better win. Like, you better just, like, show people. And I'm like, whoa. Like, how fucked up is that in my head to, like, think that? And so I'm like, no, like, just have fun with it. We're here just to have fun and enjoy each other. And so that's what I did. I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to have so much fun, and I'm not going to care. I know they don't care. They probably feel very similar to me. And it's just really cool to get together with, you know, 10 women, you guys, like 10 women who are going through the exact same thing that I did and still do. You know, obviously I'm not perfect. I still work on these things every day. That's why they call it a practice, right? There's not like a destination that we get to. You just continually practice and get a little bit better. So we're all in this journey together. You know, some of us are at the starting point, some of us are, 50-yard line, whatever, but we're all here because we have similar goals. We have similar wants, needs, ambitions, all of these things. And I was like, how freaking cool is it to get together with 10 women, and not everybody could be there, but 10 of them were able to come and just hold space and have fun with one another, and learn and grow and figure out a little bit more about who we are as a person. And, some of them, it was the first time that they left their kid, first time that they left their kid at home without them. Some of them, it was like the first time that they had a girls' night in, I don't know how long. You know what I mean? It was so incredible. But I found myself being competitive and questioning myself if I was being too much. Like, that's the thing that I always get. That's one of my triggers is, am I too much for people? Am I too this? Am I too that? Because I am. I'm loud. I'm in your face. I'm very compassionate, though. I'm very caring, but I'm very competitive. And I'm usually the center of attention, whether it's by choice or not. And so I kept questioning myself, like, tone it down a notch, Sasha. Like, should you tone it down a notch? Are you being too much right now? And I just kept having to tell myself to shut up, Sasha. You are who you are. You're with your people. This is your time to shine. Like, this is your time to show them that if they are loud in the center of attention, or even if they're not loud in the center of attention, like, everybody is accepted no matter where you are at in life. But I had this inner battle the whole time. And then the other part of me being like in a, quote, leadership role, I kept thinking, like, I need to make everybody feel accepted. I need to make everybody feel like they belong. I need to talk to everybody. I need to ask everybody how they're doing. I need to make sure I spend time with everybody. And so I kept having that inner battle too, because I'm like, did I talk to so-and-so enough? Did I say this to so-and-so? Did I encourage so-and-so? And so I had to keep catching myself. Like, they'll talk to me if they want to talk to me. Like, I'm here for everybody. I'm not obligated to, like, coach right now or, like, hold hands or anything like that. It's just like, just be you. You can make your rounds to everybody, but don't feel obligated if somebody is not feeling like they belong. Like, that's on them. That's not your responsibility to make everybody always feel like they belong, because we are all adults and we are responsible for our own actions and our own feelings, right? So if we start to, like, seclude ourselves, like, that's on us. And that's what I used to do a lot, is I would intentionally seclude myself or unintentionally seclude myself. And then I'd be like, why am I alone? Nobody likes me. Well, you told everybody to fuck off, Sasha, and then you locked yourself in the room. Like, what did you expect? So I had, like, these inner battles with myself the whole night. And I just find it so funny because now I am way more self-aware to where I can shut that part of my brain up, where I'm like, all right, I got that Jekyll and Hyde, right? And I'm like, all right, shut up. We're listening to this one tonight. I don't have time for you, or they call it like the angel and the villain. And it's like telling that villain to shove it the whole night, like, I don't want to listen to your old stories. And I didn't. And I just was like applauding myself the whole time. But I felt like I had to share this because I know I can't be the only person that has these inner battles, regardless of where you're at in life. If you're at a Christmas party with a bunch of badasses, or if you're at a Christmas party for work, or if you're just at work, if you're just at home, if you're just doing life, if you're at the freaking grocery store, like we always feel pressured to do a certain thing because that's what everybody else is doing. And so I want to challenge you to be the pack leader, to be a wolf, to not be a sheep, to pave your own path, do your own thing, channel your energy inward and figure out what works for you, and don't think about what anybody else is doing. Ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this how I want to feel? And if the answer is no, then don't do it. Do not do it. There is another way. Find it. Think outside the box. Get creative. Put your little thinking cap on. Find a group of friends that you can brainstorm with. Join a mastermind that you can brainstorm with. And really just start to think about, what do you want? What do you want? And that's all I got for you guys today. I love that. I had so much fun, but I just had to share some learning moments, and I didn't realize how much I needed a group of women in my life that could hold space for me until I joined a group and started creating these groups and things like that. Like, it is so essential to find a group of women that you just feel safe with and that you can be yourself, learn and grow and become the person that you were meant to be. So while I had a super blast, I lost my voice, and I fucking loved seeing everybody and meeting them and sharing that time with them. I had so many inner battles that I have to laugh because they're still there. They're still there. Those old stories always show up when you get in those situations that cause a little bit of tension or a little bit of pressure. And so I wanted to share with you that you're not alone. Even after years of work, I still experience them. I just know how to shut it down and not let it make me spiral and have this debilitating overwhelm and anxiety like a lot of us put on ourselves. So, all right, ladies, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope that you find it within you to figure out what it is that you want in life and how you can go after it, how you can get it. And I want to encourage you to be a badass mother lover, live the life that works for you. All right, guys, peace out.